When when we audit financial statement, we rely on our professional judgment as an auditor. But in real life, not everything we did is purely auditing or accounting. Sometimes we deal with a complex area like actual valuation, property valuation, complex financial instrument, environment liabilities, IT systems. In such situation, we as an auditor may not have technical expertise to evaluate these matters on our own. This is exactly where IAS 620 comes in. In IAS 620, explain how an auditor should use the word audit expert, still maintaining responsibility for audit opinion. Now let's move forward for our agendas. After completing this video, you will have whole understanding of ISA. You have the whole understanding of ISA 620. Let me walk through our agendas of the video. We will discuss importance, objectives, scope, introduction of this standard, key requirement, what are requirements which we must need, mistakes commonly made, and exam point of view, and finalize with our summary. Let's move forward to our introduction. Introduction of ISA 620. Using the work of audit experience. As an auditor, we are expected to give an opinion on financial statement, but we are not expert in every technical field. Many audit areas today involve complex estimates, valuation or calculation that require specialization knowledge such as property valuation, actual calculation or legal estimates. IAS 620 use the work of audit expert. Explain how an auditor without reducing audit responsibility. This standard is important because it ensures the expert work used in audit is reliable, appropriate, and property evaluation before being expected as audit evidence. Expertise, we are not responsible for the quantity and we will compromise it. It's not like that. Auditor is still responsible for its quantity and its audit report. What are the objectives of ISA? The objective of ISA 620 is to guide the auditor on how to use word audit work expertise appropriately as a audit evidence. It is focused on helping the auditor decide when an expert is needed, how to evaluate the expert, and how to evaluate the expert work. The standard ensures that expert work support the audit conclusion, not replace the audit judgment. Even after using an expert, audit remain fully responsible for audit opinion. To summarize the main objective, the auditor opinion remain audit responsibility. The use of expert does not reduce or transfer the audit responsibility. Now let's move towards our scope of ISA. ISA 620 applied when the auditor used the word audit expert during the audit. This includes a situation where the auditor relies on specialists such as IT expert, environment expert, legal advisor. The standard cover evaluating the expert the standard cover the evaluation of expert competence, compatibility, and objectives, as well as evaluating the etiquette, as well as expertise and the work document and how we use it in audit. Is what it does not cover. Management expert, it does not cover in ISA 620, it's covered in IS 500 using an other audit work covered by IS 600, not 620. Now let's move forward to our definitions to have a clear understanding of this topic. Let's move forward to our definition to have a better and clear understanding. An auditor expertise is a person or organization with the special skills, knowledge, or experience in a field other than accounting or auditing. Competence reference to the expert. There's a three things that need in auditor: expertise, competence, the expert technical ability and qualification; objective, the expert freedom from bias or conflict of interest. The auditor should be an auditor and the auditor expert both should be neutral, not biased. Let's move forward. What are key requirements of the auditor? These are the basic requirement. The office of auditor and responsibility. It's the auditor responsibility and he will decide whether an expert is needed or not. Auditors use a professional judgment and require when the auditor areas are complex or highly technical and when he needs someone else expert. And it should not be someone from out of the hat. You should pick it wisely. You have to check three main things in auditor expert: competence, compatibility, objectives. Competence is qualification and experience, while capabilities are ability to perform that work, and objective, the neutrality. The auditor expert is also be a neutral person, not someone who is biased towards company or work in the company. Now let's see the other, and then the next point is and the need. Next, evaluation of expert. The third point is agreed on scope of work. The auditor must clearly agree with the expert on the scope of work before the expert start. This include agreeing on the neutral, agreeing on the nature and the purpose of expert work, the role and the responsibility of the auditor and the expert, and the form of expert report. Clearly agreement help and ensure that the expert work is relevant and suitable for audit purpose. The next four point is evaluation the expert work. After receiving the expert work, the auditor must evaluate whether it's appropriate or not as a audited evidence. The auditor should assess whether the expert findings are relevant and reasonable, whether the assumptions and methods used are appropriate, and whether the conclusions are consistent when the other audit evidence needed. Although the auditor may not be an expert in the same field, but the auditor must still understand the logic behind the expert work. Is professional judgment. IS 620 says that auditor must apply professional skeptics when using expert work. Auditors should not blindly rely on expert. This must question unusual assumptions, challenges, and unexpected results, and consider whether the expert conclusion makes sense in the context of audit. Using an expert does not reduce the audit responsibility. Instead, it increases the need for the clear judgment. The sixth point is documentation. The auditor must document why the expert was used, how the expert was evaluated, and how the expert was used in the forming the audit opinion. Proper documentations provide evidence that ISA 620 requires, where the follow and the support the audited conclusion during the review of inspection. So we have to remember there are 6 points to see or analyze that when and how you can use an audit expert. We have one scenario to understand this presentation. A company owns an investment property. Measures at a fair value management provide a valuation prepared by a professional value. What the auditor should do? The auditor should decide that the valuation expert is needed. Asset expert competence and objectivity, understanding the valuation method, audit conclusion, and even after relying on the expert, the auditor remains responsible for audit opinion. Now let's move forward to the mistakes that commonly made. Commonly mistakes under ISA 620 include relying on expert work without proper evaluation, failing to understand the expert assumptions, poor document, and assuming that the expert replaced the audit judgment. It's not like that. The mistakes can lead to insufficient audit evidence, incorrect audit opinions, regulatory penalties, and damage to the auditor professional and damage to the auditor professionalism reputation. And let's move forward for our exam focus. In exams, ISA 620 is often tested to the practical scenarios. Examiner expect candidate to clearly discuss between an auditor expert and management expert, explain the responsibility remain when the auditor and describe the steps required under IS 620. Answers should be structured and linking clearly to the standard requirements. And the next we will conclude this topic with summary. In ISA 620 ensured that the expert work used in audit is reliable, appropriate. Expert asset Expert assist auditor but never replace them. The auditor must evaluation the expert applying professionalism and retain fully responsible for audit opinion. Proper application of ISA 620 help the auditor handle complex audit area while maintaining audit quality and professional responsibility. All for international standard auditing 620. I hope you understand that. Thank you, Allah Hafiz.